So, Doug, of the old school media that you and I grew up with, TV, radio, print, magazines, etc. Obviously, a lot of budget that's flowing into the new media space is coming from those. It's not necessarily incremental budget. So, which of the old media forms do you think is going to be most heavily hit next year? Not that it will go away, because no media has ever disappeared fully. But where do you think where marketers will pull the most budget?
Well, I'll go back to the positive side of that. Is I again agree with Kevin Roberts, Saatchi, who inspires me on ideas that the screen is going to be a big winner, and so mobile, television, and other applications with screens. I think that's going to be the space that wins. And if I had to make a bet on who's going to lose, I would say it's newspapers. I live in a town, Seattle, that has already taken one major newspaper, and turned it entirely digital. So they are starting to change in very dramatic ways. I also spent a year with Classified Ventures back in the late 90s, and going in and out of a lot of the major newspapers across the country. It's a big cultural shift. Even then, it was a big cultural shift, and still today, it's a big cultural shift to figure out how to engage in new media. So I worry about the newspapers.
I guess the newspapers have that fixed printing cost that just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
So if less people listen to the radio, maybe they can make cuts here and there. As long as there's enough power running up to the antenna, they can keep beaming out, right? But newspaper is tougher.
Yeah, it's a big challenge for them. Some of them doing some really progressive-minded things. Again, it just. But as you point out, they've got fixed operations and fixed overhead. They're creating amazing content, and so they'll have to reimagine how that content gets to the consumer. So some of them will do that, but I think screens are going to be the big winner.